Hi guys, welcome back to Two Girls with Cancer. Ashley,
Becky.
and today we have an exciting show. We are going to be talking about grounding and earthing.
I love grounding.
Right? I know, it's so amazing. I didn't do too much of it. I knew about it before the journey that we went on, and then I really got into it after. Well, kind of in between the surgeries and then after, but
really?
Yeah. I absolutely love it. And I make my son like, let's go put our feet in grass. And he's like, oh, yeah, Mom.
So for anyone who doesn't know what grounding is, or earthing, it's just connecting your bare skin to nature. And not all nature, like not concrete. It has to be natural nature. The grass, sand, dirt,
trees.
And you know what this is really good? Water. Being in the water, like your feet on the bottom of whatever lake or river.
Yeah.
So good for you. I did grounding before I got sick. I just enjoyed it. Like I just enjoyed how it felt to be barefoot. Like all summer my feet are pretty black because and like so calloused because I just go and I go for pedicures and they're like, I remember this one time my brother-in-law had a party and he lives out in the country and there was people everywhere and I did not wear shoes at all the whole night. And the next day I went for a pedicure and the girl, I remember she's like lifted up my foot and I was like, because I had forgotten.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so sorry. Like all my toenails were like dirty, like at the bottoms of my feet, and there was like a lot of stickies that summer.
Yeah.
And so all my feet, they were bad. And I remember she just like lifts up my foot and was like, oh, and they're sweet Asian girls, right? Their English is pretty poor.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Like, listen, I'm just healing myself.
Well, this is before I got sick, but she was like, where did you go? Like, I'm sorry,
I lost in the forest.
I'm like, I don't wear shoes. It was legit in the forest. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't wear shoes at all. And then another time I went, I think the same day that I'd been gardening. And again, like gardening is a great place to have no shoes on. And so I'm in my garden bed, like barefoot. And so my feet were filthy.
I think a lot of people don't really know. Maybe if they
don't get
knew
it.
the benefits of it, that maybe they would start doing it more. You know, like I don't like socks. Just lately, because my feet are cold, I'm putting them with my sandals, like we talked about. But usually I don't wear them. My son is, anywhere we go, as soon as we get in, he's like, Mom, can I take my socks off? I'm like, absolutely. You know?
Well, okay, so if you think to early human, whatever your beliefs are on that, right? What if you think of early human, like obviously they weren't born with shoes. Right? Like they were probably walking around barefoot. Right. And I think that's how our body is actually intended to be, is barefoot and naked.
Yep. But we don't want to scare you guys.
I am in no position to be naked. Right. Barefoot, maybe.
Me neither.
Not naked.
Not right now. Even though we're supposed to embrace our bodies.
Can I tell you a fun little story though? Okay, last night Andrew and I went out to Brew House to watch the most disappointing Oilers game ever. Did you watch it? Terrible.
I just
it's too upsetting. What are you
I
doing,
tuned in
you guys?
at the beginning and I was like, I just can't.
Maybe I don't want a Kane jersey. Maybe I want a Kachuk jersey from Florida. Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we went out to Brew House and I had thrown on that orangey wig, the one I wore last weekend. It's like really big. And I had my Carhartt hat on and then a jersey. And I walked to the bathroom, and the bathrooms are like a long hallway of just like women's, men's, but like kind of scattered. You don't know which one's a woman, which one's a man until you're right in front of it. So there was like a huge buildup of people in there. And I see women's first, so I'm thinking like this side is women's. So I go in, and then I see this couple guys standing there, and they're like, no, that one's locked. And I was like, oh, these are individual bathrooms.
Without
and he's
realizing.
Like, and so it was like kind of awkward. And you could tell this guy, number one, was young and wasted.
Yeah.
And this was early on in the game too, so he got like wasted fast. Anyway, I was like, oh, okay, I'll wait. I'm like, you go ahead. And then he's like, you can come with me if you want. And I was like,
what a perv.
I was like, into the bathroom? I said, that's sexy. That's where I want to see you get stuff done, in the bathroom. And he laughs. He's like, I'm just kidding.
But it still didn't dawn on you yet?
What?
That you were in the men's washroom?
No, it wasn't in the men's. It was just like a hallway.
I was like, oh my God.
It was just a hallway of individual stalls.
Oh, okay.
So then I said something
Which
about
was this?
Winterburn, West End.
Oh, I don't think I've been there. I thought you were talking about ours. I'm like, Becky.
No.
Says...
No.
Okay.
These are 6 or 8 individual stalls.
Oh, interesting.
And it's like the tightest little hallway, so people were just completely cramped. But he's like, yeah, you can come to the bathroom with me. Like, and watch you do what? pee or poo, more poo, obviously.
Probably.
And I'm like, no, that's not. And then I can't remember. We got onto the quick topic, and this is like a 2-minute interaction.
Yeah.
Got into the topic about all these gender neutral washrooms or whatever. And then I'm like, I was gonna go in a guy's bathroom because this lineup was insane.
Yeah.
And I'm like, honestly, I'm too old to care.
Yeah.
Like I really don't care. He goes, wait, how old are you? I said 37. Oh, you know. And I was like, hey.
You're right. That's
So
oh,
and I go back to Andrew and his buddy, and I was like, I just got hit on. I'm like, it was a weird way to get hit on, but I will
I'll
take it. I will take it. So when all this story to say, you know, nobody wants to see me naked, but maybe they do.
Oh, they definitely do.
Well, I was rewatching
it. He wanted you to watch him poop.
It was because he thought I was his mom, I guess. I'm old enough to be his mom. Just as young boy. Like, if he was older than 24, I would have been shocked. I would say probably more like 20.
He's just a baby.
Oh, yeah, really young. Youngins love me when I go to the bar. I don't know.
It's because I don't think we look our age. I mean, I don't think I look 39 in a few months.
No. Yeah, right. Hey, I don't think I look 38 in a few months.
No,
you put it like that.
Good. And we battled cancer, so.
Well, okay, so based off that, you would think that people who have battled cancer would look real weathered and old, but I feel like I'm bouncing back pretty well.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we're doing grounding. We're doing holistic. We're doing our herbs. We're doing everything that our
juicing
body, right?
And bone broth and supplements and vitamins,
right? And the liver one, the bison trifecta. Oh man, I swear by that one. But you know what's crazy, because it really does take both sides. You know, you have to make sure you know what you're putting into your body and giving your body everything that it needs so that it could succeed and stay healthy. Right.
So grounding, I totally believe in it, and I think because there is science behind it. It's not just, you know, there's a lot of pseudoscience or, you know, things that I believe in but really don't have a lot of backing. Like, you and I talk about live blood analysis all the time on the show. We love it. We believe in it. We both think it's amazing. Well, you know, I'm interested in taking a course on it, and I'm just looking at what microscopes cost and things like that. And so many people have commented about what a scam it is and how you can't actually detect anything in people's blood, and it's snake oil. Have you heard the term snake oil? Yeah. And all this stuff
is what it is.
Yeah, and it got in my head because I thought, no, like I've sent everyone I know for live blood. You go all the time. I go. I've taken my kids, and I truly believe in it. And the things that she saw, like when I went September, whenever I went September, the things that she saw in my blood were literally things that my doctors in Mexico had seen in a different test and put me on. So it was like, how are they correlating when she doesn't have my history? She doesn't know what I'm on, and yet she was recommending the same thing. So,
or how you felt. Like how I felt, like I was, after those 2 surgeries, I still knew I was dying. I was like, there's something wrong with me, like help me, you know, and then going through that live blood analysis and finding all those things that were in my blood and then getting it out. But here's the thing, the ignorance of people, and everyone is allowed to their own opinion, but it's like, you know what, we need to start becoming more open-minded to things and going with it. Why not try something new? Like, I never thought, would I have done live blood analysis if I didn't get sick? I would not have maybe known about it. And
I had done it prior. So I did it in 2018. And I took one of my kids, and I believed in it then. So when you had said live blood analysis, and then you sent me her link, and I also knew her, and I was like 100%, because in the healing journey is like, I wanted to do anything that I could to help myself.
When you really get diagnosed with cancer or anything like that, you know, it's like, what can we do? Let's do it. I want to try everything, you know, because it really, and it does work, and it does matter. Like, grounding and earthing, we're going to put it out here for you guys, but we also want you to do your research, you know. I have the grounding sheets coming. I'm so excited to try them.
Grounding sheets are interesting. So we live in a climate where it is not conducive to grounding all year long. very few months of the year, actually, maybe 4 to 5 months, we can get outside barefoot.
It's
so cool.
The weather.
I've done a few walks around, but like I have so many pine cones and pine needles in my grass, it hurts when I go out there. So yeah, you can get products like sheets, and I think there's like little pads for your hands, like a pad that you can stand on, and it just has like a little bit of an electric current in it, and it grounds you. So grounding is laying or walking barefoot, or even using your hands, touching the ground, natural ground.
A charge.
Yeah, and so the science behind it is that electrons that are being absorbed into your body, I do have it written down somewhere so I don't sound like I'm just pulling it out of my butt, which I kind of am right now. So
don't worry, we've done our research.
We have done our research.
Some days we have cancer brain, like we talk about, and we're just like, huh?
I know
more so me. I'm looking much for my thoughts.
I get it. I have been today. I could not think of the word cupboard yesterday, and I was like standing there telling Andrew, and I'm like, cupboard. Yeah.
Still, for me, remember that podcast, and I was so zoned out.
Oh, your supplement one?
Not man.
Not
guys,
that one.
I'm so sorry. There's so many times. I've had 2 now where the guy, we were doing the podcast and he said something, I'm like, sicker, and I looked at him like, is that a word? Because my brain shut down.
It is a word, isn't it?
Yeah. And then the one where he just posted that we did that one with the pro wrestler, and he's like, what do you want our viewers to know? I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, I didn't even hear a word you were saying. I'm sorry.
Sometimes you just hit a wall, and that's
you did. Well, that's okay. I hit too many walls. I think
every day is a new wall. Right. So grounding, I had a chance to read here. So grounding is a therapeutic technique which involves electrically reconnecting you to the earth, because the earth has a negative electric charge. Like, do you ever get, well, you were saying you hate socks. Like, I get the urge all the time. Like, if I'm wearing shoes, like, I need to get them off of me.
Yeah.
Like, I need to
it's like
be...
They're claustrophobic. Like, they need...
You know? Like, save me. Yeah. Why I think grounding is so cool, it's not just because it feels really good on your feet, but there's actually...
healing.
Well, there's a lot of studies that show positive side effects of it. It can help with things like inflammation, cardiovascular disease, muscle damage,
inflammation.
Chronic. I did say it. Yeah, chronic pain and mood. Mood, I could see anytime that I'm feeling like in a certain way or really in my head. Anytime with nature, I like snap out of it.
Just breathing in, like when you're out, you know, the trees give off oxygen, you know, being in the city or you go outside, you know what you feel, you go for hikes, you just feel that burst of energy, right? They
also say that through grounding, the natural defenses of your body are restored. And I honestly, I don't know how that is or why, you know, I'd love to give a clear-cut scientific answer as to why. I don't know. I think probably because our bodies are designed to be in nature. Like we're not designed, like we were saying, to have clothing on. We're definitely not designed to have rubber on our feet.
Right. Actually, I seen there was some research
grounding
done on
shoes.
That. Yes.
Have you seen those?
Yes.
They're ugly, but they're...
I do it. Hey, I got a sheet I'm going to be laying on right away. Like, I have a lot of inflammation, and it even showed up in the live blood analysis the last time I went. And I think because I don't have enough energy, even though that's sad to say because our grass is in our backyards, our front lawn, but or you forget about it, right? So I'm gonna give these a try, and I'm really excited to see how my body feels after it.
Yeah, if it takes down inflammation, like I wake up so swollen, like it's morning, I cannot get my ring off right now.
Feet are swollen.
My knuckles hurt. I did find back, I used to be completely gluten-free for like 2 years because I had a food sensitivity test and it had shown up that gluten and me were not friends. Yeah. And so I cut out for like 2 years and the inflammation went down. Like I didn't wake up sore. My joints didn't hurt. And then now that I have it back in my diet, I wake up and I'm like, oh. But now, you know, when I did my food sensitivity test, gluten was on there, but very little. But dairy was like super high. And as I sit here and I drink this iced coffee, I'm like, why won't I get my rings off? Why do I feel so sore? That's why.
You know, I heard someone say this, and it's so true. It's like, we know what's not good for our bodies, but we still do it. And we're only human, you know. I mean, everything in moderation, I think.
Well, I never even drank coffee till a couple of months ago. Like I would have the odd cappuccino or something like that, a fancy drink if I was out. But I would never go get a coffee. But I cannot get enough of iced coffee. My body is craving it. But when your body craves things, it's actually your body deficient in something. So when I was pregnant, I wanted peaches, wet, juicy peaches. But I was early pregnant in the winter. No peaches anywhere. If you had found some, they would have been rock hard. And it wasn't satisfying. So the only thing that would fill that craving was Nerds candy or Sweet Tarts. Those are the only things that would fill the void. And
you would wonder if it would be peaches.
You like peach candy? No, Nerds.
No.
And I ate so many of them. Oh my gosh, it's probably why my kid's obsessed with candy now, because that's all she ate as a fetus for like months. But I had seen actually Dr. Greg when I was pregnant, and he had told me that it was because I was deficient in beta carotene. So I needed to eat more rich colored. So those are things like your carrots and yams and anything like with a bright color is high in beta carotene.
Isn't that something?
I know.
And see how much learning we've done. And it's so true. I've heard that before, but it's true. When you crave something, it's because your body needs it or something.
Yeah, like some people crave dirt or ice and stuff when they're pregnant. My mom craved dirt.
What?
That's
so
weird.
What was she lacking, and did she ever find out?
I don't remember. She did find out, but it's probably some mineral, honestly.
Yeah.
Because why else would you want to eat dirt? But anyway, we could talk about vitamins forever.
Right. We kind of blend our
yeah, we really do. You're here for grounding, but it will end in poop. I'm sure of it.
Probably.
I was wondering if...
Should I tell my story last night? No, I won't.
Oh my gosh. No. Let's keep this a poop-free episode. I was thinking, like, when I made the title of our last episode, more talk about poop.
Yeah.
That would be very polarizing. We have had more views on that episode.
We did.
With old Karen's hair than we have any other. So are y'all freaks? Do you like to hear about it? Because we'll talk about it.
But it's real. And I think that's the most important thing for us, is that what we're trying to bring across is we're just being real. We're going to be ourselves. We're not going to sugarcoat anything. But, we put this information here. We don't have medical background, but we're just
You
trying
mean
to
you're
help.
not a doctor or a health professional? Giving advice to people? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Only if I could. I think I would have healed myself soon.
Yeah, right?
This last 8 months of my life has been just and it's hard because you know your body.
Trust your body. We say this every episode. Trust your body. You know it. Even if you're feeling like maybe I'm being an inconvenience to my doctor, or am I a hypochondriac? If you know something is off, if your baseline is different,
and do not
check it out. And if someone says no, you're completely fine, and you still feel it,
don't listen to that.
Go to a different doctor
until you get a root cause of your problem. Backing. Keep going.
Well, that's just it. Like, a lot of what we see in our healthcare system is a reactive response instead of proactive. So they're trying to deal with the symptoms, which is great. Like, nobody wants to feel pain. However, if you're not getting to the root cause of why you have pain, what are you doing?
And here's another thing for me, and I don't know if anyone and any of our listeners can chime in, but when I was younger and I had a sore throat or I had bumps or something, they would get in there and they'd swab you. I haven't had a swab besides COVID for years, and it's like, well, how do you know I have strep throat? Well, how do you know I have bronchitis,
in the early days of COVID? London woke up and she was so sick, and I looked and her throat was like all white, and I thought, okay, this kid got strep throat. I called the doctor's office. They wouldn't see her, of course, because the disease. So I had a phone call with the doctor. He couldn't even call me for a day or two. So meanwhile, I think she might have been 8 or 7 at the time, just suffering.
Oh, poor baby.
When he did call me, he said, it sounds like strep throat. And I said, okay, should we get a swab?
Yeah, right.
Oh, no, we're not doing that right now. Okay. And so he goes, I'm just going to send her antibiotics.
That's what I mean.
And antibiotics has its place. Okay, but they are so hard on your guts. Okay, I had to be on antibiotics 3 or 4 times last year.
Same.
And it's probably why I gained so much weight and like I can't digest food. It's probably why I have all these dairy sensitivities now, because it kills your gut flora.
And it kills your good bacteria. And if you're not knowledge to that, how are you going to rebuild it? You're not. And then all these other symptoms are going to grow. Or for women, bacterial vaginosis or yeast infections continuously. And now if women, if if you're suffering from that, please go get checked because it's not going to go away on its own.
Bacterial vaginosis is the grossest.
Oh man,
it smells like rotten. All of us. It smells like rotten chicken, and everyone knows if you say to your friend, "Did it ever smell like rotten garbage?" and they're like, "Yes." Bacterial vaginosis.
Please go to your doctor because that one, unless you can do it all naturally.
Well, my friend does.
Yeah.
Maybe not with BV, but with the yeast infection, she will take an organic piece of garlic, poke some holes into it, and I tried it once. It did not work for me, and I was gonna say it smelled foul.
I'm gonna do some research on that one. Anyways, so
the friend that we were out with last night, he was camping at the same place we were a few years ago when I tried this. And I'm vocal, and I'll call him my gay best friend, even though he's not gay at all. But we talk like it is. I don't know. I told him, I'm like, yeah, there's garlic inside of me right now.
Did he get grossed out?
Well, probably. So now it's kind of our thing. Like he'll talk about garlic all the time, and I'm like, yeah, it was pretty bad. And at the time, like we only had a tent trailer. We didn't have a bathroom in it, so Andrew just had this like little tent structure with like a bucket with like a toilet seat, and so I'm like in there. I'm in there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, I can't find the garlic. And so I'm like narrating for them.
How long ago was it?
Like 2021.
Man, I just love it.
It was pretty recent.
He just I'll come over like today. I was telling her a story, and I was like, should I?
Yeah, you're like, I don't want to say that in front of Andrew.
Usually I do, but this one was a little more. I'm just like, no.
Well,
he's heard it.
Okay, he knew what he signed up for when he met me, because I have never been shy.
Right?
About the only thing I'm shy about is farting. Like we talked about this. I will not. That is my nightmare. I would rather.
Right? I think I'm too open. It's like
all
that's
of my
why I've
friends
never been married.
I don't think and that's why I've been married twice, because I don't fart in front of people. Is that it? Is that the key?
I'm saying I fart.
Listen, if you're single, ladies, stop farting. You'll get a husband like that. That's Ashley's logic right there.
Honestly, I don't know.
Are you high today?
I actually feel quite well after my experience last night.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Man, I'm doing an episode on enemas, coffee enemas. The best thing in the entire world. The energy, the relief, the stomach relief.
Honestly, it was relief. I felt great. I didn't go to bed till like midnight, though. But
well, just wait until you do a coffee one. Sometimes you feel a little bit of a buzz from it.
Really?
So, a bum buzz.
I actually had a buzz before I fixed the problem, because I was like, what is happening?
Oh, that's like an anxiety buzz. You're like, I'm dying. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many times in a day do you think you're dying? Like 10 at least? Yeah, same.
Yeah. And then I'm like on Google. I'm like, what is this? It's a tumor. Like, damn it.
Remember when I said in one of the episodes that I thought I had AIDS, but it was actually just low iron? Mm-hmm. That's literally what Google will do to you. Google had convinced me that it was HIV, but it wasn't. It was anemia. So, anyways, grounding.
Yeah.
What I was going to say before is that it is tough to study grounding specifically because it is based on subjective responses. So if you say to a person, you know, what did you go through with grounding? That's your personal experience. So it's hard to quantify answers.
And I feel like it is not easily accessible on the internet because it's not scrubbed pharmaceutical. But you know, when it comes to, well, I mean, look what they're trying to do right now and shut down the, you know, natural supplements and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, in Canada, you cannot, well, you can get a little bit, but it's very hard to get supplements. So the bison trifecta that we get is Alberta bison. So we're from Alberta. It should be very easy. No, they have to manufacture it in Florida and then ship it back. That is insanity.
Right.
So this could be a political show too.
Right.
But like, actually, Canada, are you okay? No, we're not. We are not okay in Canada.
And I want to say something about the bison trifecta while we're here. So as everyone knows, I'm anemic. I was anemic. I had iron infusions.
Not AIDS, just anemia?
Just anemia.
Perfect.
But when I was in the hospital last week, they tested my blood. So I've been on the bison trifecta for about a month now, I would say. And My iron levels are staying steady right now.
Wow.
I know.
That is so
And
awesome.
I'm so proud of it.
Well,
Finding it and everything.
My naturopath took me off of the iron that he originally prescribed me and that I bought from his place.
Yeah.
And he put me on
the trifecta.
Well, just he said a bison liver supplement, and he said even better that it has heart and kidney in it.
That's why I did 3, because I know I could have did just the liver, but I want all 3. Why not fix 3 for 1, right?
Yeah, why not?
Or better it, right? Not that I have a problem with my heart or kidneys, but
it doesn't hurt. Yeah, right? He was into it. He thought it was a great idea to have all of those organs, especially when they're clean, unvaccinated animals. Yeah, they are pasture raised. Yeah. They are not farmed. They're not in like some nasty little barn with no quality of life. And it's even like with your meat. Yeah. Your food is going to taste different if those animals had a quality of life prior to dying.
I always think about this, like, do we know if they had cancer? Do we know if they had diseases and we're eating them? You know, that I struggled with that for a while.
I know. How are we so off topic again?
You know, we should just do, this is our topic and then multiple.
Yeah, this is our 85 topics for the day. Poop, number 1. Grounding, number 2. Whatever else, number 3. Yeah. Okay, so one thing I read about grounding is that it's really good for anxiety. Which
I could see that
is like what we were saying, you know, it helps with your mood, but it was saying that it's an incredible way to reduce anxiety because it balances the body's electrical field by syncing it with natural electric charges of the earth. And they say that when you're struggling with mental health, it's usually because there's some wiring issues in your brain, right? So it makes sense because in my personal opinion, as a creationist, that the earth was created and it's absolutely perfect the way it is, right? Like we have everything that we need to survive and thrive, right? We have every medicine, we have every food source, we have the sun, like we have everything in this perfect globe or flat, whatever you believe. But yeah, we have everything that we need here. So it makes sense that being in nature would rewire you. Like people are really big on microdosing right now. And I don't know how I feel about it, but it's like, again, it came from nature and it is rewiring or changing the electrical synapses in your brain. So maybe, I don't know, I'm still on the fence.
I've never tried it.
No,
I
haven't
want to
either.
venture too, because I mean,
we had enough going on. I don't want to be seeing colors and stuff. Not that I haven't in my day, but I haven't since I was like 18.
16, 17, I don't know. I didn't enjoy it, I think.
Right.
No.
I didn't unenjoy it. Is that a word?
Yeah.
I
think so.
But
it's our word now.
For me, like I struggle with the thought of like, I don't know, the guilt. I guess probably like as a Christian person, like I struggle with the guilt of doing things that I think are not right. I don't know.
But we've also been told that this is wrong, and then they legalize weed. Not that I smoke weed, but
yeah, you're right.
You get told so many things in your life.
There's a sliding scale where like in certain times of existence, this was really bad, and then like it's okay now, and it's okay, and it's okay, it's okay. It's kind of how I feel like. Well, no, I shouldn't get into that.
Let's talk about healing.
Yeah, let's talk about healing.
Let's talk about herbs, earth, dirt.
But that's craziness.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah. So I read something that said that your body is like a battery. It's sending millions of tiny electrical signals that govern your motor functions and support your essential processes that keep you alive. Yes. So by absorbing the free electrons in the form of negative ions, like we were saying before, like you're really helping your body out.
You are. So in the heat of being told I was going to die by the doctors, and I lost my mind. I went down every rabbit hole I could. But on that journey, have you heard of the frequency? Yeah. So I was doing frequency 111. I would listen to that every night before I went to bed for months when I was in the heat of the journey, and I felt good. You know, it gave me that little bit of clarity, so that I could keep pushing on.
There's also something called, I don't know if it's the devil's tone or the devil's note. It's like the opposite. It's like something really we need Dave on here to tell us. He knows all about it.
But doesn't musicians put bad
yes,
in
that's
the back
exactly
or something.
it.
Yeah, okay, I know what you're saying.
But like this chord or something that they play has like very negative. And I'm not like a woo-woo kind of person by any means. I like a science-backed thing. And that's why when I started going to acupuncture, I struggled with it at first because she's using like a tuning fork kind of thing and it's making noise. And I'm like, what?
Because it's a frequency.
But it's the frequency and it's vibrating different parts in your body.
That's,
And so there's actually a lot of healing in vibrational modalities and sound modalities and things like that. It's so interesting.
It is. We could go on.
I know
we're so sporadic and everything, but we mean well.
we mean well. We're just trying to.
We just want to give you everything.
We're bringing you an idea, and you can run with it, right?
Do it if it's good for your body.
Well, I think grounding is good for everyone.
Everyone should take their shoes off and get in some grass.
Right? So one thing I read about it is that like grounding isn't going to erase any of your issues, right? It's not going to get rid of your past traumas or anything like that. It's not going to erase any experiences that you've had, but it can help lessen the intensity in that moment, which helps rebuild resilience.
Just like the anxiety, if because you're in fight or flight mood, your body's like, you know, you're worried about everything, blah, blah, blah. But if you can relax that anxiety, then you can breathe a little bit, and then you can maybe be a little more level-headed, where you can, you know, not be like, oh my God, I'm dying, it's this and this, but then you can have some clarity.
I think too, like they say when you're, and especially for kids, you know, as a mom, you know this, like when you're freaking out, you're not breathing, you're not taking in nearly enough oxygen. So that limit of oxygen is causing you to like act erratically. So like when my kids freak out, and even me sometimes, like that, into your nose, out your mouth, holding it, blowing it out, really being mindful of your breathing. Calms you right down. So I think that's what it's like being in nature, and grounding is like you just have a moment to breathe. It's not going to cure your anxiety, but it is going to be useful for when hard times come.
And if you ever notice, like in a situation, if there's aggression or, you know, everyone is going to feel that, and it sets the tone of the room, you know, even with kids. Like that's why, as amazing as they are, sometimes they get, you know, but you always try and like breathe through it, because once, say if you get angry and you start getting mad, and you know, I'm not perfect by any means, but if you can try and stay calm through that situation,
well, they say take 10 seconds and you might not want to beat your child, right? Because they're just like and then you're like, take 10 seconds, so just like pause, because again, in fight or flight, like I'll fight when it comes to my kids, but it's like take a moment and just see it differently, reframe, and just breathe through it, and then the anxiety will calm down. So I mean, it just really brings you into the present moment.
Well, I mean, if somebody was attacking my kids,
a different story, but when my kids are attacking me, so my kids, not so much my youngest one, but my oldest one, who has something to say about everything, she's that age. Yeah, she's 13. She knows everything. Okay, she should do the podcast because she knows. She thinks grounding is so stupid, and she makes fun of me all the time. Like, Mom, and I told you in the last episode, for some reason, they think it's weird to not have socks on. It's a friggin' 30 degrees above, and they're like, ew, why are your dogs, that's what they say, why are your grippers showing?
I've never heard that.
Oh, you need to spend some time with some teenagers. Dogs and grippers. And I actually watched this video the other day online. This girl comes on the video, and she's like, Gen Alpha, I guess that's our kids' age, is Gen Alpha. Stupid. She goes, the Gen Alpha generation hates toes. They think toes are weird, and they call them dogs. And then she said, now the term when you're not wearing socks is raw dogging. And she's like, you know, I can see her. And she was like, who taught them that this was acceptable? She goes, my 9-year-old came in and she's talking about how she was raw dogging today. Google it if you want. Don't if you don't want to. I think be prepared for what you're gonna learn.
Mom, don't.
Yeah. In-laws do not.
Parents? Our parents, I mean.
Our generation knows. Yeah. Anyway,
totally.
She's like, what is a raw dog? So when my kid was a bit younger, the older one, I would just mess with her, and then but then she would Google stuff.
Oh, really?
And so I was gonna get a massage, and she's like, I want a massage, and I was like, you won't like it. It's a meat massage thing, because I knew she didn't love meat. And so I'm like, yeah, they just take meat and they just like wipe it all over you. It's like really good for your body. And so I see her phone the next day. What is a meat massage? And it's just like porn. And I was like, oh my God, what have I done? So yeah, you have to be very careful what you say, because children do not have abstract thinking. They have concrete thinking. So when you say a meat massage, they hear meat massage. And what Google hears is a meat massage. Well, meat massage. Yeah. Be very mindful of what you say around your kids. Anyway, what I was going to say with all this is that my 13-year-old thinks that toes are weird and grounding is stupid. And then she does track and field, as we know. And they brought in a coach. What is it today? Friday? So on Tuesday or Wednesday or something, they had a coach there who was there to teach them about grounding and about being mindful and breathing through the anxiety of races. Yeah, because she's a sprinter. And so the coach said for yesterday's track practice, it was like, be prepared to use all of the grounding and breathing techniques that you learned yesterday. And I was like, oh, interesting.
Did you hear that?
I'm just like tempted to like take my bare feet and just like rub them all over. Take that. Take my raw dog. Oh, so funny.
So good. I hope you guys are having just as much fun as we do on these episodes.
We'll see. The numbers will reflect.
They will.
Yep. So tactile grounding, just to get back to grounding, can involve many senses. So not just touch, but your hearing and your seeing, and maybe not tasting, your smell even. Like there's nothing is better than walking into freshly cut grass, smelling it, feeling it.
Rain.
Yeah, right?
Right?
I find there's something so healing about that tactile grounding. So, and it distracts your brain and it reminds you that you're in the real world and not in the past. So I see you're looking at the computer, the batteries dying. It always does that. We did a podcast 2 days ago and we're in the middle of it and we're just wrapping up, and this was like with somebody. Yeah. She was interviewing us and my computer just died because
and then when
I didn't charge it. When
we went back on, the poor lady must have got flustered and then forgot to turn hers on. So
we recorded the same thing 3 times.
That's okay.
Yeah, that was our fault. Right. So to further that with the tactile, like fresh air combined with grounding can really help your well-being, just mentally and physically. Again, it has to go back to the oxygen and getting enough in your brain. It feels good. It's relaxing. It's rejuvenating. You feel less stressed, and I think you just really have a fresh perspective on life.
I think that's why people go to retreats and stuff. They're relaxing and all that kind of stuff.
And to connect with nature, we're all in this like
healing.
We're all in this like concrete grind all the time.
We're rubber shoes.
Yeah, we're working, we're on the go, we're in our vehicles. We don't have time for nature. I'm so jealous of people who live in farms or acreages. In nature. I would love that. I would love to spend.
I grew up in one and I loved it.
Oh, did you? Yeah. Oh, lucky. I did not. I spent a lot of time outside and definitely a lot of time barefoot. I had so many warts as a kid on my feet, and probably because I was always.
You never wear.
Yeah,
it's because you're barefoot.
Yeah, that's fine. But I don't get them at all anymore because I haven't since I was like 13. Weird. Anyway,
gotta take your socks off more.
Yeah, and I wonder if that would actually heal with it. Maybe it's because I had socks on too much. I don't know, or maybe I like put my socks on wet and
go walk through Tri-Leisure like the pool.
Oh no, yucky! I don't want to walk anywhere public barefoot.
Not saying that the Tri-Leisure is dirty. I'm just saying there's a lot of public.
That's our
feet.
Pool. Yeah, that's a place to get warts. I would think is at a pool.
Anywhere, like wherever there's a lot of traffic for your feet, you never know what other people have. So we're talking about grass.
Yeah, grass. Yeah. Like I said, sand, dirt, gardening, touching trees. Really touching trees is, I think, very electrically charged. Yeah. And water is huge. Go into a stream or a pond, even like a puddle that isn't in concrete.
Just like my Kangen water, it's electrically charged.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
It has 8 titanium plates in it.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, someone's at my door. I wonder who. Andrew's here today to keep the dog from barking, so we don't have to pause for an ad. We probably should have. We have so many good things that we talk about. I guess on this one, we're talking about beef trifecta.
Yeah, this one's our beef. And next one, we'll talk about the newest one that we got.
Well, we can talk about it now. We have just partnered with Wishbone Wellness. It is a local broth company.
So she only does Edmonton and the surrounding areas that she will deliver to.
Edmonton, Spruce Grove, Stony Plain, St. Albert, Leduc, Sherwood Park. So if you are in the Edmonton area, and that's why, like, we do have a partnership with Broya as well, but they will ship anywhere. This one is specifically local. So that's why we wanted both to give people the option. Sometimes it's nice to not have anything in like a long-term sealed plastic container, right? Like the Wishbone Wellness comes in like a cardboardy kind of container, and it comes frozen, and you just pop it in your freezer. That's how you know it's like so fresh.
The other one comes frozen as well. But
oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Sorry if you guys hear this or what I'm doing. If you hear farting, it's not. It's my donut. Okay, just so you know. See here, I've been hearing it this whole time. I'm like, they probably think I'm just farting. I'll show you guys. It's a donut. Okay, this is it.
You know, when I was out last night, I could have used the donut. I kept having to stand up because I was in so much pain.
So from all of that journey, it's wrecked my tailbone, and I also don't have a thumb. So,
well, when you don't use your muscles, you lose your muscles.
I did. I lost everything.
Yeah. I'm finding it too. Like I didn't work out huge before I got sick, but I'm just finding how weak I am. And so I also do another podcast. It's called Going On Daily, and it's with a couple of guys from the States. But I have to pick topics every week, and I did one on how important squatting is, and not the exercise of squatting, but just sitting. And a lot of the Asian population does this, and they did some testing on it. Like an experiment, and they found that 100% of the Asian population that they tested could easily do it. Only 13.5% of the North American population could do it, and of that 13.5, 9% of them had Asian in their heritage.
I can't, definitely.
But it was saying that, like, you're squatting down, your legs are a little bit more than shoulder width apart, your toes are pointing outward, and then you're sitting down with your bum on your calves and ankles, and your feet have to be planted. They're not on your toes like a squat exercise. It's flat planted, almost more weight in your heel. And a lot of these Asian cultures do this for hours. Like they can sit for hours.
Or eat. I've seen some eat like that.
Did you notice growing up in Ontario, like they have a very high like East Indian and Pakistani population?
I was too young when I left.
Oh, okay. So the men would sit on their driveway for hours like that. Like I would go for walks and stuff, come back, and they were still sitting in that squatting position. But when I was painting our new desk here, I was squatting for like 2 minutes, and I was in so much pain. And so what I was reading about squatting was saying that if you do this 3 times a day for 10 to 30 seconds between each every day, it will help strengthen all of your muscles, your legs, your core especially. And my doctor had said that the reason I'm in so much pain and my back goes out all the time is because my core is not strong. So I'm going to start squatting.
Perfect.
I think it would feel good. Right?
I can't.
No, start it. Try. Right? So long and short of today, grounding is very good. Get out there, connect with nature, with your bare skin. Your body is designed to be out there.
Yeah. Try it. Be open-minded. Try it for a week and see how you feel. Maybe your anxiety will go down. You never know.
Right? If you're lucky enough to live in a climate that supports it year long, do not waste this opportunity.
Right? And just do it. And then maybe, I don't know, comment below if you guys tried it and listened and see how you guys feel. Yeah. We love to interact with you guys.
Okay, well, next episode we are going to be talking about self-care. So pretty excited about that because self-care is important through this journey. It is like number one. Like you feel selfish, especially as a mom. No, you can't. You have to take care of you. It's like someone said this recently, the airplane analogy. Like you have to put on your own mask before you put on your kid's mask, because if you're dead, you can't help anybody.
But we have both been the types of people who help everybody else first. Yeah. So this journey was humbling.
Yeah, it was. I always loved a good self-care, but not enough, I don't think. So
No.
So yeah, we'll be talking about that next week. I am gone for the next few days, but this won't matter because we come out every week. So yeah, we will be back next week with self-care. In the meantime, subscribe, like, share, follow, all the things.
Everything.
We appreciate everybody so far.
Thank you guys for your support.
Have a great day.